Hey everyone, Techie Dads, I'm Paul.
I'm Pej.
Today we're going to do a continuation of the Microsoft Surface that you introduced a while back and now talk about the pen.
Yeah, so one of the things that we wanted to talk about, so we've had the book for a little bit now. Still getting used to it, but I gotta tell you, I really like it a lot. The keyboard feels really nice. It does, the casing doesn't get too hot, right? So I've had this thing cranking.
You've traveled with it now too, and that's always a test, right?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I really like, I thought, as I told you in the review, with this gap, would that gap be a problem? Whatnot? No problem at all. I mean, it travels really well, fits in the bag nicely.
That 4-hour battery life hasn't been a problem?
I've got it, so I've got between 4 and 6 hours. And there's a couple of updates that went through, worked out really, really well.
Okay.
The screen's nice. I mean, I love this screen. It's beautiful.
It is
right?
Nice.
Yeah, and I keep telling you, it's touch screen as well, which is nice. So let's do the pen. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to just flip this over and get it like so, right? Push it down. As we talked about before, it comes up and says, hey, do you want to go into tablet mode, all of that fun stuff. I can use my finger, but we've got the pen. Pen is nice. Magnetically syncs to the side, which is cool. If I push the top button, OneNote pops up, which is really nice. So I can quickly start and scribble away, take some notes. There you go. Hi, Paul. Right, very quick, very easy. Can quickly write that.
I think you mentioned you bought custom nibs or ends to that pen, right?
Yeah, I did. So $15 off of the Microsoft store.
Mm-hmm.
The nib that it came with was kind of cool, but it was very fine. And the nib that I've got on there right now is a 2H pencil. And I really like it because it gives me more surface area. The nibs don't change the type and feel, so it's not like that. But I mean, I can draw lightly on it. This is light, and then this
it's got some pressure sensitivity to it, right?
Right. So here, this is the light one. This is the heavy one. That's just me pushing down on the screen a little bit.
Right.
But I like this nib other than the other ones because it's got more surface area. So sometimes when you're lazy, you can write on the side. If you want to write top down, you can write top down.
It changes the friction with the screen a little bit too, I assume, right?
Yeah, it does.
That's the point. Yeah.
And then you got the the button on the top. It's also an eraser where I can come in. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to set it up to go into erase mode or something like that. I can just quickly come in. Yeah, and I do it. I mean, the OneNote application is really well done for this, right? And if for you guys who've been around a while, you remember when the first tablets came out, and it was all about how they're going to revolutionize and people are going to be able to write, and they couldn't write. It was just horrible. We have come such a long way.
So what is that about though, right? Like, is it going to turn your scribbles into characters, or just leave them as scribbles, or it's kind of up to you, right? Like, it comes down to character recognition.
Yeah, so I haven't, that's a really good question. I haven't actually done any character recognition stuff. It's really, I'm drawing or I'm viewing in OneNote, and I've got this convert to shapes. Let me see what that does. It doesn't do much. But it doesn't have character. It's really for me to scribble.
I think it's only for, maybe in OneNote it's taking everything kind of literally, but when you were doing prompts and using it to launch an application or whatever, it was clearly recognizing what you were writing.
Right.
So there it makes sense.
Yeah. So can I show you one more thing? Let me do this. So when we did the review, we had talked about, hey, can the pen also work as navigation for when you're doing things like PowerPoint?
Right.
So went online, did a quick bit of research, found AutoKey. AutoKey's fantastic. It's basically a scripting language. Let me run that. So I've got AutoKey running.
Yep.
I've got this script. It just sits on my desktop. So all I'm doing is I'm launching it. Right. So there we go. I launch. I bring up PowerPoint. Right. And let's go into full screen mode. All right. So I just took a default template. Can you see that there?
Yep.
All right. So push one button, moves forward. Push another button, moves forward. Push another button, moves forward.
So use it as a remote for your PowerPoint presentations.
I want to move backwards, double click, slide goes back.
Okay.
Fantastic for when you're giving a presentation, you want to walk. I'm a walker, so whenever I'm delivering a presentation, I need to be up and around. That's just my style for delivering. But even if you're standing behind a podium, or if you're one of those people that likes to be at the front of the room but you're stationary, right? I think you're like that, right? You can quickly move ahead. Animations, single click.
Well, I think what you're doing right now, because you flip that around and turn this into a presentation device in those meetings where you don't even have a projector, you now have a slideshow.
That's right. Yeah, and this
on the fly.
Yeah, and I was actually at work delivering a presentation. I had this going, and you just have it like this. It is still noticeable. It's not as tiny as some of the other projection devices.
So you don't have to look down, hit the space bar or whatever.
And it's Bluetooth. So I've got 30 feet. I didn't go 30 feet. I didn't actually try at 30 feet, but you got 30 feet, move around. I think what we'll do is, when we post this, we'll put you links to where we got the script and where you can get the software. Very, very easy. I mean, it was 5 lines of code, of scripting code. AutoKey's fantastic. I mean, this stuff, you can do a lot of things. It's really there to automate some of your more common tasks, and you run the scripts and whatnot. I mean, there's a whole development language around it, but very, very simple. I just I did Pej code. I copy pasted, saved it. It works. I tweaked it a little bit, and that's it. Just because I wanted a nice delay and stuff like that.
Cool.
But it worked out really, really well. So we'll post that. Maybe do a blog or something.
Sounds good.
I'm Pej.
And I'm Paul.
Techie Dad.